Saksena, your views on the journey so far, the kinds of radars Dr. Saraswat mentioned, but how they've been utilized and how they've been significant as well, important, and the needs keep on changing time and again. We know with the technology advancing, the changing times would require some more advancement into these technologies as well.
Sir, I am first of all very honored to be sitting with Dr. Saraswat, we have worked together for decades, and ex-DG DRDO himself. I want to look at this journey, this majestic journey from 1958 to 2019 in terms of the technologies being harnessed over a period of time.
Okay.
Sir started with, talked about Indra radar. That was a Doppler radar starting. But even the Doppler radar, Indra 1 and Indra 2, there was a difference. Indra 1 was made for low-level surveillance of aircrafts and helicopters. But when we came to Indra 2, which was made for a ground control interception, the new technology which was put into Indra 2 was pulse compression technology. This technology, because of compressing the transmitting pulses and correlating them with the reflected pulses, does two things. Range resolution went up like anything, and the signal to noise ratio increased. So first level of technology was just Indra or Doppler radar, then came the pulse compression. Then sir talked about the next series, which was the passive phased array radar. Now the passive phased array radar is a huge jump, because the antenna element which are located on the antenna are controlled only by one transmitter and a computer, in which the wave current is fed in such a phased manner, that all the waves, which are wave pattern which are coming out from various antennas, get superimposed on each other due to phase shifter, and it becomes a plain waveform.
Okay.
That is a 2D radar. Thereafter, when we made 2D radar, first 2D radar Rajendra came out, we said why not now convert it to better location radar. Swati came as a byproduct of the radar. Now this was the technology of 2D that time. Now DRDO shifted to a next technology called 3D technology. 2D means bearing and altitude, bearing and range, and 3D means bearing, range and altitude. Now 3D series of radars came with a central acquisition radar of Akash weapon system. I am very fortunate, sir. I am the one who inducted Akash weapon system in the Indian Army, courtesy sir. We worked together for decades on this. Now, sir, central acquisition radar is a 3D radar, which has got, like I was telling you, a range of 180 kilometers.
Okay.
When this came, for Navy and Air Force separately, Rohini was given to Air Force and Revati was given to Navy. This was 3D technology. Now, this we did not stop here. At that time, we talked about ballistic missile defense. I remember we were in Bangalore that time, a place called Kollur. There we went and saw the swordfish radar. Our technicians, this is my personal knowledge with the DRDO persons, we went there. When our contingent went to Israel, we were initially to be associated with some sort of a work share. Our own intellect of the Indian scientists were such that we started to develop the work share, which is more than allotted, and we came back and made our swordfish radar.
Okay.
Now, if we didn't stop at that, what was the next flavor of technology? The next flavor of technology was to miniaturize the radar. There was one Dr. Kollur, God bless his soul. The first radar which was conceived was low-level lightweight radar, 250 kg. I was associated with that radar. We had to tell the doctor, you have to break this radar on 5 mule load. He didn't know what a mule is. He was to be shown a mule. And he broke that radar in 250 kg radar in 5 pieces. We took it to high altitude. We gave the same radar to Air Force. DRDO gave the same radar to Air Force. Ashlesha, same small radar, 3D radar. But instead of 2D, it was a 3D radar. Then, as I was talking about the air defense radar, military radars like, Flycatcher, USF, are fire control radars of foreign origin. Indian origin radars are air defense fire control radar, air defense tactical control radars, both made successfully by the DRDO. Now, this is the next phase started from here on is the active electronic scan array radar. Now you know that Uttam radar, which has been made by the DRDO 100 kilometers, is for Tejas Mark II. As also there is another radar which is coming up for airborne electronic warfare and control system. And what is the latest on the DRDO journey is the 4D radar. Bearing, range, altitude, time stamping. 2 radars are there, Ashwani and Anirudh. Both of them are already a reality. So starting from Doppler to 4D is a journey of 61 years in which technology has moved for step by step. We got pulse compression, we got frequency agility, we got constant fire rate alarm, we got all types of radar from 2D to 3D to 4D,
Okay.
we got ECCM measures.
Okay.
That is a journey.
Okay, so that's quite an apt sum up. In fact, Ashwani and Anirudh had been praised by the Indian Air Force Chief just recently about their accuracy on the field. Mr. Lele, your views on this journey and specifically the way we have developed the technologies and DRDO has responded to the needs of the armed forces as and when needs has arose.
You see, as General Saxena had rightly pointed out, radars are your eyes and armed forces require eyes. You got to look beyond horizon. So you got to have radar systems which are so-called, say, over the horizon radar systems also. So when you look at the evolution of the entire ISRO's journey, so entire DRDO's journey, as far as radar systems are concerned, it's a very phenomenal journey. And as compared to other systems, I think they have done this journey in a very short span of time.
Okay.
And they have started improvising in their own systems. You started with Indra 1 and 2, then you get into the Rajendra and other systems. And then there was a very rapid improvisation meeting the requirements of the armed forces. I think next level which DRDO is now looking at is essentially into a ballistic missile defense system where you require major long range radar systems. So that is again a very interesting thing. One must understand that radar is not only a system which is required for armed forces. Radar has got certain amount of a deterrence measure also. I'll slightly digress over here. Like ISRO has put a radar, say, in Vietnam. We have developed a satellite called South Asia satellite. Now, Prime Minister recently had introduced a radar system in Bhutan. So all these things are giving messages to your adversaries too, that yes, a country has got certain amount of capabilities not only to make themselves comfortable, but to look at your activities too.
Okay.
So I think so one has to really look at radar system from a military point of view, from a political point of view.
Okay.
Green Pine radar and other radars, we had an excellent relationship with Israel over here for the development of a technology. Because in modern world, if you decide to start from scratch, it becomes very difficult. You will miss the bus. So we have to really establish based on already established technologies. I think this is one place where DRDO has really built up on whatever was given from Israel, and they have ensured that it will be allowed as far as Indian environment is concerned.
Okay.
One or two things more over here. Like we are talking of a radar, you got sonars also, you got lidars also. Here radar is basically radio. Sonar, as far as is concerned, is a sound. It's required as far as your submarines are concerned. Lidar, where you're talking of a light. I think DRDO has got much more to contribute in these two systems also.
Okay, so therein brings me back to Dr. Saraswat in terms of what more needs to be done in terms of future technologies and what are the challenges that we have. Because as Mr. Lele also pointed out, it's a modern world and the technological advancement is going up by leaps and bounds. So we will have to do the catch-up business very quickly.
I think the technology is really growing very fast and the demand is also increasing. First of all, two things which are happening is that radar has functions based upon the reflections from the target. Now what the enemy is doing is it is reducing the reflections from the target. Your waves which you are sending, they get absorbed. So you don't get a return. That is called minimizing the radio cross section. If such a thing is happening, how do you handle this situation? So there are technologies which are coming when you go on ultra wideband radars, where you are able to position to even get reflections from such surfaces.
Okay.
So this is a technology which is coming up, and what we call as the radars for low detection, high reliability systems, and that is what DRDO is working on today on getting on radars for the low RCS targets. That is number one. Number two, when radar is transmitting, the enemy electronic warfare systems are already active. So you have to also make sure that you are not detected while you are doing that. So you have got what is called frequency agility, hopping frequencies, and variety of measures which are there. They are becoming part of the radar systems today, so that the detection by the enemy that you are transmitting and you are active is also avoided. This is the second part. Low intensity conflict is demanding us different kinds of radars. For example, we have mines today which are buried. Now we have to have detection of these mines. So what is called ground penetrating radars.
Okay.
In fact, LRD has already developed the ground penetrating radar. Third thing which is happening is the terrorists are hiding in a room and you are across on a wall and you don't know how many terrorists are on there. So this is called through wall imaging radars. Even this radar has been built by LRD today. So you are in a position to see across. Third one which is happening is the eye in the sky. Our own program, which you are aware of, AEW&C, in which we had a phased array radar mounted on the Embraer aircraft. That is one major achievement by which throughout the day 24/7, you are able to keep track of what is happening in the enemy's territory. That is called airborne early warning system. You can see almost in an angle of about 270 degrees what is happening inside this system.
And we have seen this kind of radar.
This kind of radar. Now this is our own radar which is operational today. What we used to have earlier was rotadomes, 360 degree, on the Russian on the IL 42 system. That kind of a thing, India developed a planar system with a 270 degree, and now next one we are developing is a 360 degree. So these are the new technologies with complete EW proof, technologies for LIC, technologies for through wall imaging, and technologies for low RCS detection of the targets are the major things which are happening. Third one is satellite based radars. We have recently done what is called the synthetic aperture radar, which can be sitting on the satellite, which should be able to see the targets on the ground. So these are all new technologies which are emerging, and they will become part of the Indian arsenal as early as possible.
Okay, so DRDO is working on the emerging technologies as well. Jan Saxena, your viewpoints on the challenges and the opportunities.
Sir, I will look at two verticals of challenges. First of all is the vertical of stealth. Sir talked about that. You know, the stealth threat is growing in a very big fashion, whether it is J-20, J-31 aircraft, which are there. The stealth is coming. So our DRDO has to now build up the radars in the counter very low observable domain.
Okay.
That is, it could be a laser-based radar, called LiDAR. It could be bistatic, multistatic radar. It could be multiple input, multiple output radars, or radar having different bands, as also a new technology in which you are not transmitting. Sir was talking about low RCS. I'm not transmitting at all. That is called the passive detection radars. You have to build all that. Second vertical of threat is hypersonic weapon. Now you just must have read the news a few days back. DRDO tested on 12 June, in fact 12 June 2019, they tested a hypersonic technology development vehicle, HSTDV. Now thereafter the wind tunnel is just going to be inaugurated by the Home Minister shortly. What is this telling us? It is telling us that today we not only require the radars in the counter low observable domain, we also require radars which have a global look-see. Satellite-based radars I was talking about, synthetic aperture radar, those are the ones, a new domain in which you have to enter if you have to take on such weapons like hypersonic weapons, which is not threat now, but it in future. But such radar do not get made overnight. Years and years are required of research and development to make. So one vertical is stealth, other vertical is the emerging threats like hypersonic weapons and so on. You have to build eyes and ears for that.
Okay. Mr. Lele, according to you, the emerging areas which needs to be focused upon now?
I think I'll pick up on stealth. China and Russia had recently, it has come in open source, that they have developed radars which can address stealth issues. Other thing is that China has developed an over-the-horizon radar, which I believe is a major asset for their navy. I would like to bring in area of hypersonics also, because your entire missile defense architecture will change if hypersonic becomes a reality. And already many countries have tested those weapons. I think China has done almost 6 to 7 successful tests as far as hypersonics are concerned. So when you're talking of a different architecture for missile defense, you need to have a different radar system. And one more thing at the end, I will say that radar systems are extremely useful as far as your weather patterns are concerned. So Indian Met Department has got good Doppler radar systems, lot amount of a heavy precipitation and other issues which are related with climate change. There is a radar meteorology which has come up in a big way. So that is also one area where we need to focus more.
Okay, so there it is, as our panelists have pointed out, in terms of developing our indigenous capabilities with respect to radar systems. We've come a long way, but there are several opportunities and challenges as well because of the rapid developments in the technology. And there it is, the DRDO and its allies are working on right now to try and find answers to the questions posed by the technological advancement. We'll come back again next week with a different topic and different set of guests. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.